I was looking for a way to combine social work and social advocacy in a community, faith-based experience overseas. And the name Maryknoll just kept coming up.
I felt a calling to overseas mission and came calling at the Maryknoll Lay Missioners.
Growing up, the Maryknoll magazine was always on the coffee table, and my parents had always been donors of Maryknoll. And then about the time I was finishing college and felt this call to do mission as a lay missioner, that was the first group to pop into my mind.
I also studied in El Salvador at the Jesuit University there, and I was even more exposed to the realities of poor communities and work of missioners.
What drew me, I think, to my journey really is spirituality, believing that faith and action are one.
And after that experience, I knew that this is the dream for me. This is my calling. I really want to be a lay missioner.
Maryknoll Lay Missioners was born out of a vision of the Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers and the Maryknoll Sisters after the Second Vatican Council as a way to incorporate the laity into the mission of the Church.
Our goal is to promote the gospel, to offer people what they need, to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked.
Over 700 U.S. Catholic laity have gone to mission with us for a commitment of 3.5 years minimum commitment, and many people have stayed long term.
I went to mission as single, and I'm now a mother and a wife in mission.
I first arrived in Kenya in January of 2001, just about 12 years ago now.
In 1975, the Maryknoll leadership decided that they would canonically create the opportunity for the lay missioners to establish a separate organization.
By 1992, our inclusion was such that the Vatican said it's time to form your own organization. So we formed an Association of Christ Faithful, carrying the Maryknoll name, and we respond to the Pontifical Council for the Laity as a lay organization in mission.
One of the outcomes of that was that we had to assume responsibility for our own fiscal well-being.
We passionately believe that we as laity are called from our baptism to the mission of the Church. And for those of us that are privileged to work in the fields afar, we need the prayers and the support, the financial support of the local community, of the local church in the States.
Our real heart pull is to help people with disabilities have a little better life. And we can say that we've done that, which is a wonderful feeling.
Our focus is to take the children off the streets and to place them in schools. The difference in the lives of these children is phenomenal. It can't be overstated.
We recruit to send people of all ages, families, married couples. These people represent the rest of the folks in the pew, or those who are not able to go, directly representing them, the face of the Catholic Church of the United States in Tanzania, Cambodia, Kenya, and so on.
And when we go to mission in the fields afar, we need the support of the entire community. We go in the name of the U.S. Catholic Church, and that is important and key.
Maryknoll is about living and working with the poor. Maryknoll is about direct service, compassionate service, accompanying people, and working to change the structures that cause oppression in the societies where we are.
That's the good news. We can't announce the good news without lots of people back here in the U.S. helping us do that.
We as a church are used to supporting priests and religious in mission work and in ministry. Lay people doing it, it's a nuance for us. Laity are called, and we have to support laity in mission.
We go into this next phase pretty confident that we now have within our own mission community the capability of fulfilling the roles that 30 years ago we looked to priests, brothers, and sisters to fill.
Every faith community, every parish has to have that global appreciation. It's essential for them to look beyond the walls of their parish.
As Maryknoll Lay Missioners, we have to raise all of our own funds, and our first priority is the sustenance of our missioners in the field. If we have 13 good candidates, but we only have the resources to put 10 in the field, That's sad. So we really are working and saying to folks, come to us, support us in that effort.
My faith has grown incredibly by my experience in Brazil, by living, working, and praying with Brazilians, particularly the most excluded.
I loved my first experience, and I decided after the 3.5 years to continue with another 3 years with Maryknoll.
I like the spirit of Maryknoll. They go places and they do things that other people aren't doing. We're not committed to education or just to medical work or just to drilling wells. We go and look at what needs to be done, and then we say, maybe we can do that.
This is my call, and this is the only right thing for me to do.
When I returned to the United States, this experience will heavily impact my decisions. I think I will always be working for justice and working to get to know people and why people are suffering.
Maryknoll for me has been that opportunity to live out my baptismal call, a call to mission, a call to reaching out to people who are different, a call to be in solidarity with our global brothers and sisters.
We realize we are privileged to carry out this call, and not everybody can go overseas. That's a reality, and we realize that. But the partnership of those who support us, both in prayer and financially, is key, and we call people our partners.